Baseball is a game of hot and cold streaks. It happens at virtually every level of the sport, from Little League all the way up to professional baseball. A hitter can be on fire one week and then go ice cold the next for seemingly no reason at all. And in the 2024 Major League Baseball season, the best example of that is New York Yankees center fielder Aaron Judge. From opening day on March 28th to May 2nd, the Yankees captain was having a pretty poor season for his standards. While he was technically a well above average hitter compared to everyone else, it was hard to not be disappointed by his production. After all, the Yankees did sign him to a contract that would pay him $40 million a season in 2022. Some people actually started to doubt him, pointing to his 197 batting average as proof that he was somehow washed after just turning 32 years old. People making that argument failed to look at other stats which plainly said he was really just due for a breakout. Most importantly, how he was crushing the ball, putting up an average exit velocity of 94.6 miles per hour, which was one of the best marks in MLB up to that point in the season. And along with that, he also had a 17-degree average launch angle, which is very conducive to hitting home runs and having other extra base hits, something which Judge had been doing, but not really at his standard level. What was happening, I think, was that Judge was just getting unlucky in the deep part of Yankee Stadium in left center and dead center field. And this high exit velocity and ideal launch angle led to a high barrel rate at 13.1%. For perspective, the MLB average is roughly 7 or 8% this year. Judge was hitting almost double the average barrel rate, and people were really saying that he was washed. A barrel is any type of batted ball that produces at least a 500 batting average and 1.500 slugging percentage. To put it simply, it's a ball that hitters just absolutely crushed. Judge's hard hit rate was also extremely high at 54.8%, about 16% above the league average. So he was hitting the ball hard and at the ideal launch angle to put up power numbers, but still not hitting his best. His 724 OPS through May 2nd was just slightly above average. And that was his quote unquote cold streak. In that so called cold streak, he was still 10% better than the average hitter, according to the stat Weighted Runs Created Plus. And starting on May 4th against the Detroit Tigers at home, Aaron Judge would begin one of the most insane hot streaks the sport has ever seen, and for sure the most impressive stretch of hitting since Barry Bonds when he was in his prime in the early 2000s. In the 146 plate appearances since that May 4th game, Judge has put up numbers that are hard to achieve even in video games like MLB The Show. He has 34 extra base hits in just 32 games. If his slugging percentage was his OPS, it would likely win him the MVP. A 1.044 OPS is elite and would be the best in baseball as of June 10th. It would if it was his OPS, but rather it's his slugging percentage and his real OPS is much, much higher. Aaron Judge has achieved the most explosive month of baseball hitting since prime Barry Bonds, and I'll go over just a few numbers to prove it to you. During this time, his average exit velocity stands at 99.4 miles per hour, high above second place O'Neal Cruz during the same time frame. But the most impressive thing about this hot streak, in my opinion, lies in Judge's barrel rate, which I talked about earlier. The rate at which he squares up the ball and does the most damage. It's 45.8%, and the MLB average is 7%, meaning that during this time, Judge's ability to square up and drive the baseball is roughly 6.5 times better than the average hitter in Major League Baseball. That's wild. He's also managing to put all these hard hit balls into the air for fly balls, as he has a 55.4% fly ball rate during this 32 game sample size. Of these fly balls, he hits a home run on them about 40% of the time, and that's not even a fluke, he's just that good. If Aaron Judge can stay healthy this year and avoid any sort of injury the rest of the way, he's probably going to win his second MVP in 3 years. While he's at it, he might even break his own home run record, which he set in the aforementioned MVP season during 2022. Aaron Judge has completely flipped his season around from April, and there's one more thing that I haven't even talked about yet, and that is that his expected stats are actually somehow still higher than his actual stats. Using batted ball data statistics, his expected numbers like slugging percentage and weighted on base average are actually much higher than his actual values, meaning that he might be due to start hitting even better, which is insane. And this is truly an insane stretch of baseball, and I really feel like we haven't seen anything like this in ball since Barry Bonds played.